Hey, it's Evan with I Can Do It Yourself, back with part 4 of our project of pulling the V6 engine out of a 2001 Mustang. So in this episode, what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull the engine out. I know it's been 4 episodes already, but it's taken us this long to get everything unattached from that engine. And it is unattached. We got the exhaust, we got all the wiring, we've got all the sensors, we've got accessories. Almost everything is gone from this. Alright, so I'm going to walk you through the steps to do this by yourself. I'm going to do it by myself with no help. So far I've done this with no help. No one even give me parts. It's just me. So follow me along and I'll show you how you can do this at home too. Okay everybody, just like all other steps, I start off with preparing my tools. And the tools that I'm going to need for this job is all kinds of attachments that I'll be using to chain up the engine. So I've collected these over a few years, and I'll tell you what, every time I pull this engine out, and I've done it a few times, it's different. I will use different things depending on how much of the engine I take apart. So if I've taken the engine down much further out, I can actually use these guys. These will, you can screw these into the heads or some other component of the car, and then you hook these right up to your engine puller, your cherry picker, and then there you go. But I'm probably not going to use these this time because I didn't take it apart that far. And you will need a whole bunch of these little gadgets, like these kinds of things. These are so helpful to be able to loop in the chains and be able to change the direction of where the chains are going. Because see, if the chain is going to be, say if it's like this, you might want it like this. That's actually going to be a complicated problem to get that together. Definitely just have some spare chain laying around. Maybe this is about 3 feet, 2 3-foot strands of chain, and I also have these nice fabric puller pieces which are really good as well, and I'm probably going to try using these first, and if they will get there. The problem is going to be clearance, alright, and we'll show you that when I get to it. And so of course you're going to have your big engine puller. You need a good one that's capable of a couple of tons just in case, because you're going to be pulling the slide out to get as far out as we can, because we're going to be pulling this thing from the side. We're going to go on the sideway and not through the front, so we don't have to take the bumper out because it's just too far away. So I mean, look at this, how far this would be if you had this crane coming in all the way over here to pull this out. It'd just be enormous. So we're going to come in from the side, and so the arms of that cherry picker are going to come in this way and this way. Alright, and so what I'm going to start doing first is I'm going to take 2 chains or 2 of these fabric pieces right now, and I'm going to start looping it through the engine underneath, and I want to get 2 of them to get one side over here, one side over here. Okay, so that works. I got it looped over, but I did discover that it loops right over the spark plugs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spark plugs out. I figured that'd be a good idea. I don't want them to break. Now that I have that looped together, alright, and it's flat on both sides, it's flat underneath the engine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop it together with this guy, keep it together. Alright. Like that. That's going to pull it right there. So next up was what I've done is I took the floor jack and I have supported the transmission on the bottom directly underneath. Okay, and this will take the bind off of the transmission and the engine when I start removing the transmission engine bolts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take them out from the bottom up, you know, just to be safe on the safe side. So I don't want to take these out and then, you know, the thing just falls over me. It's not going to fall over. This engine's in here. It's not going anywhere. But when you start removing these bolts, the transmission is going to want to pull down slightly. And what's going to happen is it's going to get into a little bit of a bind as you start pulling these bolts out. So you want to be able to support it first while you take them out. Now for this I'm going to be using a 13 millimeter. That's the thing to use. Alright, I got the bottoms out. Now I'm going to do the tops. Alright, now what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the 13 millimeters because that's the bolt size is all the way around. But I'm going to use the stubby and I'm going to use the angle guy and of course the regular one if I need some more power. Now you really need a good set of tools for this. And if you can even find some of these wrenches that are curved, even better. This stuff is really tough to get out, and so you really need to put your fingers all the way around over the entire bell housing and try to determine if there's any more bolts anywhere, even where you don't think there would be one, because they hide these things and man, they are tough to get out. So here we go. I'm gonna try this guy right here. I think it's the only way I'm gonna get this one. Alright, now that I have all the bolts loose, I think I do, I felt all around, think I got them all. So now I'm going to assemble the cherry picker and put it into position. Alright, now as I do this, I'm going to push this thing in here. As I push it in here, I have to make really good and sure that I do not mess with any of the jack stands or the jack that's underneath the car right now or the jack stands. All right. Alright, I'm ready to start jacking. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack both here and off the transmission to take weight off the transmission. And hopefully this thing will come up. I'll be able to swing it out of here and get it out. Here we go. Alright, so already I don't like this. Here's the thing. There's way too much cordage right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that bottom one. So I'm going to drop the engine back down. I'm going to replace that with a chain. Alright, I feel a whole lot more comfortable about this new setup that I got right there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling it up. And you'll see me walk back and forth as I mess with the jack underneath the transmission to kind of lift that up as well. right. I just freed the engine from the transmission, and all I gotta do is I just gotta jack it out of here. Alright, well that's it for episode 4. Evan, I can do it yourself, and you can do it yourself too, because I did this all by myself. Just one person, alright? And you can see my my picker was straining there a little. I was getting a little bit worried, because this is pretty much at the max of what it can do. Anyway, if you stay with me for another episode, we're going to take this flywheel off, and we're going to put the engine on the engine stand, and we're going to inspect the flywheel and see if there's any damage. Same thing about this clutch, because that's a problem I've been having. I've been having a clutch problem, and we're also going to get in the transmission and look at that as well. So stick with me for episode 5, transmission and engine stand.